He wants to get his flint book. Dennis couldn't apply here. Dennis said to me, he was going to sit down the building control. He said, you have history and exercise physiology and stuff like that. He's going to the big man in sports medicine. He wants an exercise physiology.
Because I know it's been discussed as he tried to put it together.
As he's trying to put it together, he's still fashion. Tell him it's going to go down in flames if this thing starts off.
Just like me, I'm like the lamb. They say you go on Sundays.
Regina, I want you to meet Mr. Dunn.
Oh, yes. Mr. Dunn. Yes, how are you?
Very good. Talked to you a couple times.
Yes, I know. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for the patients and for volunteers, for everyone. We've appreciated it. I didn't even realize.
Something we're very happy to do.
Oh, well,
From the hospital standpoint,
so grateful.
from the medical standpoint, the physicians have been absolutely tremendous.
Well, you know, the earthquake in Armenia was so devastating to all of us. The lives were so shattered that we are just indebted to you beyond
They have a newspaper.
anything we can say. To you and to Mr. McDonough, to the physicians, to all of the very many people who open their doors to us. I see a patient here. He's smiling. He's so happy.
We have several patients here, and they've been here all morning.
Oh.
And we've had the best time with them.
Oh.
Wonderful, wonderful example.
Thank you.
They really are.
Each time we feel as though we've asked enough of you. You seem to do more. The hospital center at Orange seems to just keep on doing. And I think that that's a point that I wish we could get across to everyone. How wonderful you are and what a microcosm you are of America, you know?
That's very nice.
We're so...
Well, it's very nice to hear that.
Yes, it is lovely to hear it. We knew it, but we are glad other people
Yeah. Yeah, we have 19 other hospitals, and they're throughout 8 states, you know, in the United States.
And this is
we see, I don't know.
she's the organizer of it. And she had her legs, and she was standing. She was all dressed up nicely. She had her leg, and they were all thrilled and happy out
I
there.
told him, I said, as soon as you're walking, we dance.
Doktor, hetet barem güzel.
That's right. That's right.
See, I told him when I go to Armenia, I have a girlfriend over there. If my wife finds out, she'll shoot me.
No, she won't. Not
You should introduce them. I'm not. Yes?
You are not good?
Yes, you're very good.
You are very good.
This is
Very good.
This is Alina.
She's saying she's not good because I yelled at her a little while ago because she's frowning. She's frowning.
Come on. He wants your prosthesis.
Alina, mikrofon için mi?
Didn't you see her? Didn't you see her? Sit back.
Thank you. That's all right.
Sen görmeyi atla gari gözlükü nail mi hokune? Paregamen uzattı. Direkt uzattı bir diyelim çağırdı. Çok memnun.
She has brace. She has what? Plastic brace. She has a brace on, so she can sit up. She has rods in her back, but she has a brace, so she has plastic. So, see, that doesn't hurt. It's all solid plastic.
Did you install that and what support?
She had a fractured spine that was collapsed, so we straightened it out with the rods. She needs the brace to hold her up for a few months until this fusion starts taking place, and then we'll take the brace off.
Did you put it in? Or?
Yes.
How was it done?
With an operation in the back. We put 2 stainless steel rods in the back and then fused it with bone. Took some bone from the back of her pelvis and put it in. She did very well. She had lost some sensation in her left leg, which was her good leg, and she had weakness. She couldn't move it, and now she can move her leg. See? She knows. She's much stronger now. She could not hold it. She could not hold this before. See, she's much stronger. Much stronger now. Okay? Every morning we kid. We come in and we get her to move her legs. See, I walk in, I say up, she puts her leg up.
She had not sat up for 5 months. She had been totally flat on her back. Subsequent to surgery, she's been able to move her left leg, has sensation in it which she didn't have before, and able to stand up and walk with a prosthetic device.
Go up to him and ask him something. So he can fill the picture. Move up a little. What happened to her? What caused it?
This is a very sad situation. She was on the 3rd floor of her house when the earthquake struck. And the building started shaking. She went to the door, tried to move out, and because of the condition, the door had jammed. She went back to the window, looked out, and the 2 buildings across the street were crumbling down. In her fear, she jumped out the window of the 3rd floor. She broke both her wrists, both her legs, and her spine. Subsequently, while her building was totally damaged, it had not collapsed. So that is a real heartbreaker. She has lost a leg, as you well know.
So she was one survivor of how many that died?
Well, the official number was 25,000 that we hear. That doesn't count the bodies they had not found underground, which have remained there. The rubble has been closed over, and that does not count the small towns in between the 3 main cities.
Let's move down here and get a picture.
It should be easily twice that number.
Easily.
Could you ask her how she feels now?
She says much better than before.
Describe her visit to the U.S. How has it been?
Inch pes anzad, inch kugils skatsumet as jampurkant masin. I asked her what are her feelings towards her trip to this country. She had the dream of coming to this country and getting well, and she says her dream is coming true. So these were her specific words. Her dream has come true. She says, I thank all the doctors very, very much, specifically my doctors, which is Dr. Wirman, Dr. Aragona, and Dr. Lowe.
She looks happy.
She is very happy.
We call her positive lipstick son. She's all made up now.
Tell her she looks pretty.
Thank you. She's saying thank you.
She knows English, right?
Just a couple of words. My friend here speaks English a little better.
She's great.
She's been working very hard in physical therapy since she lost both of her legs during the earthquake. And it's quite a challenge to her to learn to walk again with 2 long leg prostheses.
Did you treat her specifically, and what did you? Is there crackling on the mic?
Most of her
Hold
treatment.
on for 1 second. There's a mic problem here.
I mean, why not? This is the easy way to just
Test 1, 2. Is it gone now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, still crackling.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Tell me, hardwiring, were they all right?
Yeah, they were okay. It might be where we're at.
How about now?
And I didn't even realize I was
Comes and goes.
I better, let me get another mic because this is crashing.
Hima burası galımın sabye şuradan kaldı.
Hold on for a second.
Ein kanal panel zaten. So Hima Dagami, you're still. So anyway, inch gazetleri rica edeyim. Hima? Kidding. She is saying that she has begun to walk with her prostheses, and she's able to do very well. Right now, they're just so tired because they've had such intensive therapy, because that's what this hospital has to offer. A lot of intensive therapy, and we're very pleased about that. Alina is a person who we think could easily direct the social services of a rehab center back home, because her attitude is so positive. She's such a very optimistic person in terms of overcoming any obstacles. There are no obstacles to her, just opportunities, just challenges, right? Yes. For Alina, yes, it's the says hamar miain I've told them that for them there are no obstacles. They're able to meet any challenge.
How did you get to know them so well? It seems like you're sisters.
Well, we are sisters. We're of Armenian descent. We share along with everyone else in the volunteer effort from our volunteer Armenian community that sisterhood. But now we also have adopted sisters and brothers, because we feel as though we've been adopted by the family here at the hospital center in Orange. Really, this crosses ethnic lines. Our original feeling in bringing them over here was, of course, to be of help to our brethren overseas who were involved in a devastating kind of experience, and a traumatic kind of experience in terms of loss of family, loss of home, loss of limbs, and then to cross all these many miles with such great hope. They came here wanting to hug someone, and we were the ones who they hugged. They also painfully separated from their loved ones, but the overriding hope is what balanced that situation. And so here they are, and in addition to finding all of their Armenian sisters and brothers who are here in America, they find a whole community of non-Armenian individuals, Americans, just as the American Armenians participate in the larger community. They find others who also are participating here, and they've come to widen their family, and so have we. I come here thinking that every one of these people is a sister and brother. The physicians, the volunteers, everyone.
You're talking with them in Armenian?
Sure. Come on, Dickie. Im հայերենից ինչ պես է? Շատ լավ է, շատ լավ է։ Մենք հասադրեցինք իրենց, թե որքան ուրախ ենք, թե ոնց միայն հայ ընտանիք չկդանք, մենք կդանք ընտանիք, որ միացան հայերուն հետ։ Այո, հայ չեն, բայց օդարալ չեն մեզի համար, ալևս քույրեր և եղբայրներ թարսած են։ Այո, բոլոր Եվ շատ ուրախ ենք In any case, thank you so much for everything. Շատ շնորհակալ ենք։ I'm such a spontaneous person.
A little.
Could you talk to her? He's busy with her?
Make sure I do that because the lados, you have to think for love. Says you hope you're done in. You have shot. Yesedim şadıra, Şadıra and Kolorita. Modoren Bidiganis Bidikur College. Very shortly she's going to be walking out of here because she's doing great with her prosthesis. They're doing a wonderful job with her.
What did you say? I didn't hear that.
Very shortly she will be walking on her prosthesis and walking out of the hospital because she is so determined and she's working so hard and diligently to walk out of here that she's just a fantastic patient. She's a great patient. If we had more like her, this hospital would be empty.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that either, but her determination is just great. Her determination is just great. It's the will. It's the will. You know, she's so great. She can't get enough of it, but we can't overtire her either, you know. I think she's going back down again to get more. Of course, she said, of course.
May I tell you something that I just found out?
1 second.
Very interesting. They didn't know each other before. No. I just found out something very interesting about our two patients. They didn't even know each other before they came to the United States. They both lived in Leninakan, which is, of course, the city that was hardest hit by the earthquake. It is the largest city that was hardest hit. They were both at a hospital in Moscow when they came to meet one another. And it was there that they became so friendly. And of course here, they have become sisters. So I thought that was a very interesting kind of thing about them. Sifot Lenina kan zirat çdesak çjansak. Hep Moskova zirat jansak. Sifot tiraf kuidik nerede? So I'd miss it.
That's great. Beautiful. And she has taught herself English. She can speak an awful lot.
Yeah,
She can.
I couldn't.
She understands. Oh, yeah, she understands. No, I understand, but nobody
Good.
She understands nice things.
Yeah. She has to practice.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to practice to talk, right? But she understands very well. I talked with her this morning, and she's very, very good.
Alina, did you learn English there? Did you learn English at all when you were in Armenia?
A little.
Huh? A little. A little. And you learned more when you came here?
Yes.
Every year.
I can't get over that. I can't get over that. Kevin is with Rosenthal.
Some positions in other countries.
No, okay. Friday is when we plan.
To just understand, the instrumentation and how to use it. It's not just simply sticking something in. It's a matter of saying, I had a case like that before, and here's what I did, and it worked this way. And it just takes experience.
There's a training period.
There's a learning curve at all, but as you start getting used to these instruments that we use for the spine, there is a thing about recall, and you say, gee, I had a case like that, and I remember I bent the rod this way, and it just fit just perfectly, and you're struggling for 2 hours when a simple maneuver could have cut off 2 hours of the surgery because you just didn't realize. And that's important, and you can't teach that. That just comes with experience. So the concept of bringing them over here and trying to train them is good, and I think that's worthwhile. I think you still have to go over there a little bit and try to teach them how to use it and actually hands-on in the OR with them.
What did you specialize in? I was involved with the care of a patient with a crush injury to the leg, and also our patient with the amputation and the spinal injury. We're partners. Dr. Wehrman and I and Dr. Lowell are partners.
This one I'm going to take home. I'm going to take her home. She comes with me.
Mr. Kazarian, he's not here right now, had a crush injury to his lower leg, which involved the bone coming through the leg and damage to the nerve in the lower leg. So what we did was operate on the leg to release the nerve and at the same time reposition the foot and ankle into a functional position. And he did very well, and right now he's in a cast, and we're looking forward to having him up walking in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
He's moving his toes, which he wasn't before. So
moving his toes and beginning to get feeling back.
Well, she had a spinal problem.
Not talking.
Yes, it did.
When you guys went in and
long-term crushing injury.
They send you pictures of it.
It's not too hopeful, but he's doing fine right now.
what I felt would have been a difficulty for you people was the fact that you were seeing these cases 7 months after the actual accident.
Right. There was a lot of water under the bridge, and this was real reconstructive surgery, basically rebuilding the damaged areas and allowing some kind of functional return. It's really far beyond the emergency work that the initial surgeons were confronted with right after the accident, right after the earthquake.
Good to see you. Doctor. Oh, pardon?
Dr. Rosa operated today.
Dr. Rosa.
He's learning very quickly.
You know, if any of you fellas speak German,
Very good.
German.
Can you stand up?
He can stand, but he needs support. He can stand with his crutches.
Now you can get up. Ima güzel gol.
Ima uzun bir reis kosim.
No, what? Ima koşu koşu. Güzel gol ima golden gol people like.
Noricen ne vodki? No.
Ima güzel paket.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's all right.
Very good.
You want him to walk or anything?
Oh, there he is.
So he's doing his thing too.
Wonderful.
What was the injurious leg? Yeah.
Now we want to stand up. Now you can get up. Ima güzel gol.
Ima uzun bir reis kosim.
No, what? Ima koşu koşu. Güzel gol ima golden gol people like.
Noricen ne vodki? No.
Ima güzel paket.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's all right.
Very good.
You want him to walk or anything?
Oh, there he is.
So he's doing his thing too.
Wonderful.
What was the injurious leg? Yeah.
Look at that.
Should we all do this?
You want him to sit down again? Yes. You might understand already. Very loud, very
They would take them on a regular basis.
Let me
take your place right there with a camera, and let me have you both doctors come up and speak to her. We want to shoot that way. You can be up front here. We're trying to get away from the windows.
Okay. You want us to turn him around?
It'd be best. No. Moment.
You gonna share him?
Levon. Sure. Levon. Oliver Tartmanis. Oliver Tish Tartmanis masajnes.
Yes, we're going to just shut my name. All right.
Tish Tartmanis, orada bir masajnes.
Not too bad.
Hiç korek kendine ne? Ayo. Spasi Levon. Listi bejiş
Yes. How are you feeling now?
Which best discussing?
Kirazım. Şartla. Very good.
Are you having any pain in your head?
No.
And are you comfortable when you walk?
Hangiste scala?
Hangiste? Ayo. Yes.
How far can you walk now?
Horcha pero que nascala.
Estağız kardeşim. Gönül sinyalda sizleri storage veradırmam istedim.
He says I can go all the way to my room and walk back again.
Tremendous.
They did too.
Will he be happy to be going home soon?
When you say home,
Leaving the hospital.
Rajes for hibantanos en moderes pudielas y dum libertas.
Եվ ուրախ եմ եւ տխուր եմ։
Happy and very sad.
Ուրախ եմ, որ առողջանում եմ։ Տխուր եմ, որ այսպեսի լավ մարդկանց եմ թողնում
He
գնում։
says I am very happy that I am getting healthier, but I am very sad that I'll be separating from such fantastic people, excellent people.
Բայց հաղորդ իրանց, որ իրանց երբեք ես չեմ մոռանա, իրանք իմ սրտում նստած կմնան։
He says I want you to know, he wants me to express to you, literally translated, that the memories of you will totally always be in his heart, and he will never forget what you've done for him.
The feeling is mutual.
What did you do for him?
Mr. Shagoyan had a very bad injury to his hip. He did a total hip replacement. He sustained a fractured dislocation of the hip. He was unable to walk. He had horrible pain as a result of the injury. We replaced his hip. We have relieved the pain. He's now able to walk again. We're not letting him put weight on it for about 6 to 12 weeks until the hip replacement will solidify. We will follow him for about 6 months before he goes back to Armenia.
Seemed like a very proud man. How close have you gotten to know this man because of treatments and so forth? Seems like you know him very well.
Oh, very well. I see him every day. We have a good rapport. We have a good relationship. He's been happy with the whole situation here. I think he's just happy to be rid of his pain. I know he's looking forward to going back to Armenia, but we'll miss him here. He's a very good man.
How do you feel when he stands up? He felt quite a proud showing himself off.
It's quite gratifying because before we did this, he couldn't get out of bed because the pain was so severe. It's just nice to see him without the grimace of pain on his, without the look of pain on his face.
Go and chit-chat some more with him.
He would like to say a couple more things, and he'd like to do.
Այնտեղ որ վերադարձա հայրենիք ամեն մի քայլ դնելուց ես ոտքս որ պետք է դնեմ հողին վրա ես պետք է միշտ հիշեմ եւ բժշկին իմ Ռոզա բժշկին եւ մյուս բժիշկներին մյուս դոկտորներին Ռոզա դոկտոր եւ մյուս դոկտոր եւ պետք է հիշեմ ձեզ իմ հայրենագիցներ եւ պետք է հիշեմ այստեղի բոլոր մարդկանց ովքեր մեզ օգնեցին ոտքի կանգնեցին եւ դրանով օգնեցին իմ վիրավորված հայրենիքին որ այնտեղ պետք է գնանք պիտանի մարդ լինենք պետք է այնտեղ աշխատենք որ մեր վերքերը բուժենք ճիշտ թարգմանենք
He wants me to translate this literally. He says every step when I go back to my motherland and every step that I take I will without a doubt remember Dr. Rosa all the doctors that were around there including the Armenian Americans the hospital and everybody in the hospital as well as the Armenian American community who has made him feel like he's totally at home and he's going to relate this over there this feeling every step he takes on that foot on that leg it's going to be relayed to everybody in the country back home
Եվ շատ գոհ ու շնորհակալ եմ այստեղի ամերիկյան ժողովրդից որ մեզ դժվարին պահին նորից օգնության ձեռք մեկնեց մենք չենք մոռացել 15 թիվը, երբ մեր ժողովուրդը աշխարհով մեկ ծրված էր, Լենինագանում Ամերիկան որպանոց բացեց եւ մեզ օգնեց։ Հիմա էլ նույն ձեռքը մեկնել է մեզ։
He's saying this that he wants everybody to know that at the most difficult times of Armenian history, in the year 1915, which was the massacres that the Armenians had endured against the Ottoman Empire, by the Ottoman Empire, America was the country that opened an orphanage right in Leninakan, the town where he has lived. And this era, this date, where on December the 7th was a devastating earthquake in Leninakan, again, it was America. It was America that was one of the countries that was right there in the time of need. How did he hurt himself?
Երկրաշարժի ժամանակ ես 5-րդ հարկում եմ։ Շենքը սլվեց, 7 ժամ հետո ինձ ազատեցին։
He's an architect, by the way. He's an architect.
Let me get the lighting on. What happened to him?
He was on the 5th floor of a building, and he knew as soon as it started that an earthquake was occurring. And he managed to he knew where to go in the building to be safe, the strongest part of the construction of the building. He managed to get about 4 or 5 people of his co-workers into that location, but he didn't make it himself. When the building came down, he was stuck under the stones on top of his chest, on his hip, on his leg, and he was under there for about 7 hours before they finally got him up.
Doctor, how bad is it? How bad a shape was he in? I mean, you're talking about damage.
He was in very bad shape. Besides the injury to his hip, he did have a crush injury to his left lower extremity, and this resulted in very severe nerve damage, from which he is starting to recover. We're currently giving him therapy for this, and he is making improvement. We don't expect him to recover 100%, but he is functioning now and does not have the pain in the left leg that he once had.
This guy, could you step up for a second? How many years have you been practicing, and how bad was this situation? Have you seen anything as bad come to you?
I've been a resident for 3 years now, and I haven't seen any situation quite like this, because the thing that was different in this case was that we saw very severe injuries, but not in the acute phase. All the injuries we're used to seeing are immediately, within a few hours or a few minutes even in some cases. In this case, the injuries were 6 months old, and it was a totally different approach to the management.
How does that make the injury look like? How does it appear? And what do you do to correct it, being 6 months later, a year later?
The difference is, rather than treating a fracture, we're treating fractures that have already healed in bad position with poor results. So we have to reverse the problems that have already occurred, rather than starting from the beginning. And that makes things more difficult.
What exactly did you have to do to the bones and to the structure to get back?
In this case, he had to have a complete reconstruction of his hip. He had a fracture dislocation of the hip. Initially could have been treated by putting the parts back together. In this case, they had already healed, and we had to reconstruct.
What is this volunteer time that all you doctors put in together? I mean, who's paying for it? You guys got to be paid somehow, somewhere.
No, I don't believe we are.
No? How did you know? Did you just volunteer your time?
Well, I'm an orthopedic resident, so I work in the hospital anyway. I put in many hours, regardless of which patients I take care of.
How about you, doctor? I mean, when it comes time to pay the bills, I mean, we all have mortgages.
Well, they asked us to become involved. It was a good cause. We were happy to help out in any way we can. 5 or 6 of the orthopedic surgeons became involved. Each took on the responsibility of one particular patient. And it's been very gratifying just to do that. The hospital has done a fantastic job because they are also covering the cost of the care of the patients while they're in the hospital. And it's just been very gratifying to be able to help these people out. As you can see by the look on Mr. Shigoyan's face, it makes me feel good to walk into his room every morning.
So that doesn't pay the bills. How do you still feel?
There are things that are more important than that.
Thomas, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Here.
Yesterday, when you lifted up your skirt, showing your knee.
Kuzen meg hat haima vasalayete pama like kuzen kezisten vochi. Arshaba. I don't have marega. Kezin lurguzen. I just told her that they would like one Armenian person to be here just in case something is said that isn't absolutely clear.
That's fine.
Although she seems to be doing fine without me.
Can we clear those curtains back over here for a second? These curtains.
I'll
go the other way.
I'll go.
There's a little more room to shoot.
Hey, there he is. Frank. What's up? Yeah, it gives you one, right? No. He's rid of it.
Adi Alina Guvakeret. Anon kem tibi alan gam bidi pochen noren. Ani bidi pochen.
Can you feel it on now?
Oh, they're nice.
I didn't turn it up.
I'll get out of the way.
Okay. Go ahead and proceed and help her out.
Nothing much. Yeah, but with you, having what you think of those things? What you think of those? I kind of like those questions. Yeah. Did you
stop for a second there? I want Jim to get a better shot.
Sit up straight. Lie down. She wants to make sure lie down. No, pull it up.
I like your tennis shoes.
She wants high heels.
She wants high heels.
She wants high heels, huh?
Alina, just don't worry. Let her do that.
All right. Yeah. So you may want to pick up a couple extra.
Just keep that.
If anyone's going to be able to anybody can do it.
Keep it like this.
She's dancing.
No, this should be Alina dancing.
Even in her chair, she's...
My wife is very
Put it in her. Just try it. Shady, I'll send them good. Okay.
Just one an hour. Wow. Look at you. Ain't gonna be all right. That's right.
How are you doing? Right here? We're ready.
Let's move around.
You good?
How's everything?
I'm walking it back. Good. It's good of me.
Put your arm here.
How do they feel?
Is it right here?
Feel secure?
Remember how to show. She will. Don't throw your leg. Throw your leg.
Yeah. See, it's extremely irritating. Selena, wait.
Hold on a second. The excess rotation.
Wait, hon. That's it.
Yes? Yeah, step now.
Still extreme. Not as bad, but...
We were, this is our...
Your toes all the way in.
This is our second time. This is her first day to in putting it on herself. So she's deep well.
Very good, Lynn.
Good. That's better. Thank you.
And this is she's that good. She can walk like from here and around the department.
I'm so happy for you. I am so happy for her. Is this your first time seeing her? I wish you could have seen her dancing. Dancing yesterday.
She was dancing.
Right.
We have a little party with us, you know, it's one of us.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
I'm talking about the party, Alina.
You said you were dancing yesterday.
Were you dancing with her?
Well, another therapist did, you know. Yeah. I did once, but not yesterday.
Alina, why don't you go straight?
Oh, you're here. You're next.
You're next.
Not for the
We're going to have a party on it. Just walk slow. Just walk
That's okay.
I'll tell them. Walk slow so they can walk. Good. Control your feet. That's it.
You were guiding her?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let me get around, Jimmy.
This way, dear. Come on, you're doing great.
Come on. This is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. Alina, shada bude.
Do you feel comfortable? Is it okay?
You feel like she has to learn how to like correct the alignment while lying down.
She's like when she feels something is not right, you have to learn how to adjust herself and all this. But she's doing very good so far. Very good. Keep going.
No, I mean this gentleman.
Okay.
We're gauging her.
Oh, you're talking.
Going this way.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No. You were telling her.
Oh yeah. All right. Go right a little bit. Right. Very good. She said she have a good answer to me. You say no. Very good. It's too much this way.
You know what? It was the way she's not used to having it put on.
Okay, all right.
So she's adjusting.
No problem. Okay, it's all right. Keep going.
Right, but this is not right.
I know your legs is right. We're gonna go back. That's a great answer. Okay, keep going.
Right. Alina, you are doing beautifully. You are doing beautifully.
You promised you won't dance, and now when everything is over, right? Okay. They recorded that. So. Sure.
This is amazing, Alina. You've done chili cards on this time.
Now tell us how long this has taken. When was the first day that you walked with the prosthesis?
She's been walking with us for like around 3 weeks with a prosthesis.
Isn't it amazing?
But that's her first week she's using the walker, like out of the power parts, you know.
Yesterday was her first day.
Isn't this
Get ready. This is your moment in the glory here. Pull up the sock. That it is. My name is Nune. What do you need? Do you need help? Well, do you need to stand to get it in?
She's got a brace on her side.
Yeah, she's in a spinal cast.
We usually wear a brace on this leg as well because we're knees.
Take out the passcode if possible.
Take off the
Take this off?
So we can see her. So we can see the.
Is it okay?
Is it okay? I assume it is.
Yeah, well, you said to ask her if she minds, that's all.
Do you want to bring her out in the walker?
No, right. Okay. Can she do it right there?
No, is it comfortable? Turn.
Hold her right here for a second. Light in the shot?
No.
Let's go one more time. One more time.
How you doing? Good.
No, you stay right
Do you want her walking with the roller?
You must like that ruler. You want?
But she's been out here yesterday just for a little bit.
Because the other lady walked with me.
Yeah.
Would you be able to do it again so she can show us?
Jen pokazali jeden zdrad kačalere kadram,
So much I need to say.
Oh my.
What is her name?
Nunel.
Nunel?
Nunem. I didn't know it was Nunem. She is very beautiful. Very beautiful. In spirit as well as physically. Both of them. This is why I have said that I think they would both be very influential in a very positive way in a rehab setting in Armenia. Because they both have the spirit and the determination.
They saw Alina with the walker, so they want to see her doing something different.
So, and you're going to fit it in when they feel it. I can put it on my resume. Great
Okay, now, Leon, what I want to leave you with this. One of your
Peter, do you want him to go in your car? Do you want to hold him? I don't want you here. Why don't you go in the distribution here. Could you find the password that I will thank you very much? Could you give me these? Do you feel that your relationship with him is
Oh, okay.
Everybody's getting a VCR. But the party outcomes, the people, the supportive group too.
I wish they could have been here yesterday. Yes, to see them dance.
Hi, how are you? No, you hold it from here, like this. No, you hold it.
Yes, yes.
Like this, and then kiss it. Very good. Good. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
That's good.
Shall we set these from here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Your volunteers, they're a big help, huh?
Yes.
Very nice. Very good people.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Get this here. Hold them from here.
What's the matter?
No, we
shirt, they always told me on TV, blue shirt.
We decided to come up last minute. You know, thought it was a worthy story.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
What do you say to yourself when you hear about people needing work, especially with all the people in the world needing work, and you're not necessarily going to get paid for it, and here comes another bunch of people coming in and need work, but yet you were able to provide it?
Well, I don't think anybody ever asked for money. That was not, one of the things that crossed our mind. I think one of the problems with medicine today is the fact that you go to physicians in their offices and say someone needs help. Our problem is getting payment for the hospitals, not for the physicians. With the way our system is set up today with payments on hospitalization, every time a hospital has a bed that's utilized that they don't get payment for, it puts them in really dire straits. So it isn't a question of whether the physician's going to get paid, it's a question of whether the hospital's going to get paid. And I know of very few physicians that have ever said no when asked could they provide care to someone. The first questions out of our mouths are not how much are we going to get paid. My whole staff, when I went to them and told them we had 5 Armenian earthquake victims coming, nobody said no. I mean, everybody to a man. As a matter of fact, I had trouble trying to decide who was going to take care of them because of the fact that everybody was so willing to do it. They arrived on a Wednesday evening, about 8 o'clock, having traveled about 28 hours by airplane. And Dr. Wiener, our resident, was the one who greeted them at the door, and the chief resident had told him, work them up completely. Well, having traveled 28 hours, and these poor people hadn't eaten, hadn't slept, and were going to be submitted to someone sticking needles in their arms, sending all over the place for x-rays, we decided that really was not the way to do it, since there was really no emergency. So what we basically did was just ascertain if they were on any special diets, if they were taking any drugs, any special medications or anything like that, just to get them comfortable for the evening. And the next day is when we had a group of about 4 or 5 of us with the residents, and we went over each one, and each person took 1 or 2 and got the history and went over them and decided where their main thrust would be as to what they needed. And that's how we did it. And quite frankly, at the end of that, I mean, everybody has kind of looked at this as a team type of approach. I kind of like to go in and say hello and smile at them because I met them all, and I kind of like to see what's happening. I ended up taking care of 2 of them, but the rest, the whole staff, I mean, there's no reason for anybody not to walk back in there, and they were all evaluated, and everybody looked, and everybody got their 5 cents and 10 cents in to decide, what we were going to do. We presented them to our staff conferences and just, tossed some ideas around about what we would do and how we would do it. But nobody ever thought about that. And I don't think you'll find medicine in general, doctors in general, ask that question.
You don't hear of free patient care these days. Everything's up, everything's insurance, everything's suing this, suing that, or this or that. It used to be that I would look forward. I think most physicians would look forward to going to the office and to see patients and take care of patients. I was taught and I was told by my mentor and past partner, who's since retired, that you never worried about money as a physician. If you were a good doctor, you would get paid eventually, and people would look for you. You didn't have to advertise, you didn't have to do anything like that. As a matter of fact, in our own practice, most of my patients, when they come in, it's a referral on the top. And when I see they're referred by other patients, I prefer that. That tells me that I'm doing something right. And, the problem is that they forced us to become businessmen.
This is what's happening in this country, and I'm not so sure medicine is a business. I was taught in medical school that medicine is an art and a science. And a lot of times it's more art than science. I like to be able to sit down and talk to my patients. I like to be able to give them options. I like to explain what they have, and if they can understand it, fine. I ask them to ask me questions. I tell them to call me on the phone.
But how was the communication on this one when they can't speak English?
Well, we communicated through interpreters. And if there were questions, it was very interesting with Nune, by the way, the young lady with the spine. She wouldn't sign the consent. We have a consent form, you know, we have to sign, you know, that you know what all the complications were. She wouldn't sign it. And, you know, when you had time to talk to her, the basic reason was she was frightened of signing it. Nobody ever in Armenia ever gave her an explanation. You were told you're going to the OR, and when you woke up in the recovery room, it was done, whatever was told. They didn't know what was going to be done. They never had it explained to them. So there's a difference. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that depending on your culture. In the United States at this time, everybody wants everything explained to them. I have no problem with that. The problem is that, you know, right now we're being forced to get into the business of medicine, and I don't like that because I was never trained as a businessman. I don't want to be a businessman. I want to be a doctor. That's what I was told to do. But if I'm not a businessman, I can't afford to pay my bills. I can't pay the girls in the office. Nobody who sends things to me, quite frankly, tells me I have 2 or 3 or 6 months to pay. I mean, if I don't pay it when I get the bill, they're on top of me. So that's where I think the thing is. I'd like to see us go back to where we used to be, you know, where doctors and patients had a nice relationship. I don't want to be paid in chickens because I have kids going to college and then very high tuitions. So, I mean, I have to look at the financial aspects of it. But I don't want to, the first thing, if a person comes in the office is, I don't want to sit there and say, you know, how are you going to pay me? But I think patients have to also understand that they can't expect to go to a physician and not pay them anything.
That's true.
You know, I mean, that's a problem.
How bad were when you first saw them, were they beyond belief what the injuries were?
Well, I think what I finally realized, having spoken to them and getting pieces of the story together, was that these people were in the hospital from December 7th when the earthquake hit until they came here. Now, in our ways of thinking, I mean, you have someone who's in their 20s with both legs gone, with PROs and DRGs in our hospital systems today. How do you keep a person in a hospital from December to May and not even be measured for a leg? See, that's beyond our comprehension, because that's not how we do medicine here. Everything has to be done quickly, fast, everything in and out, get in and out and in and out. So that's what surprised me. Now, the girl with the spinal injury was treated in a sling. She was treated with her back extended, arched back, in a sling in bed. Now, the type of injury that she had neurological damage. And in that country, obviously, they didn't have the rods and the expertise to do it. But, I mean, left alone, that would have further compressed, and it's very possible that she could have lost the use of her good leg, which would have made her paralyzed, and then she wouldn't have walked at all. So seeing her and seeing how these people came in their harried state, coming in, not speaking any English at all. Elena did. Elena spoke a little English. And, you know, I picture myself, if I was in a foreign country, nobody understood me. And to be taken out of the environment and brought to the United States with their gold pavement on the streets and everything like that, and you were going to be made like a new person, it's frightening. And, you know, in the time they've been here, with the way they've been treated, and the people that have been so cooperative and have really made them feel well, I can see a big difference. I mean, I'm kidding them about the lipstick sign and the facial, but I mean, I was away for a week at an AMA convention, and when I came back, I mean, there's a big difference, even in that week. You know, Elena's now got her legs and she's walking with a walker. These are all positive things for these people, and they're very appreciative. Now, you understand that they've been in 5 months in a hospital at home where nothing was done, so that even in a period of, say, 4 weeks, where you might say, well, it's still long, so much has been done for them in the 4 weeks that I really think that this is a positive experience for them. The other problem is when they go home, they don't have brace places over there to take care of these legs.
What have you learned from them?
I don't know. I myself get a personal gratification just having them smile and say thank you. I learned a little bit of Armenian, not a whole lot. I think it's nice to see people that are appreciative. I think I've learned a lot about their culture and their people just from the people that are here and how close a community they are and how hardy these people are and how, they really are very appreciative of what was done for them and what we can expect in the future. I think that, the old thing with the Russians and glasnost and all that, but I think this is where it is. People don't get mad at people they get to meet. People don't like people they never meet. If you see a piece of paper, you're always saying, that guy's no good, because look what he said. But you don't get to meet him. It's very hard to get mad at someone you're talking face to face to. And I think when you get to see these people, you really can appreciate,